Hello and welcome to another edition of City Talk. My name is Tim Shaw. I'm the Government Affairs Director at the Pacific West Association of Realtors. And today we're on location. We're at Pacific West's Long Beach office because our guest today is the Mayor of Long Beach, Mayor Robert Garcia.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Sure.
Glad to have you here. So probably in the interest of full disclosure, we should let everybody know that you and I worked together
a while ago.
About 10 years ago.
That's right, that's right.
And when we say work together, we mean share an office together.
As in next door to each other.
2 feet away from each other all day. So we know each other real well. So congratulations on being Mayor of Long Beach.
Thank you.
Obviously very proud of you. So before being elected mayor, you were also on the City Council, right?
Right. I was on the City Council for 4 years before, and then also taught at the university during that time, and been great. Ran for mayor. Been mayor for about a year and a half. It's been a great, almost 2 years now.
Well, Long Beach being one of the bigger cities in the region, what is the population of Long Beach?
It's almost 500,000. So it's the 7th largest in the state, but the 34th largest in the country, and certainly in LA County, it's the 2nd largest.
Yeah. So many things to ask you about. So I know the Long Beach Airport seems to be, as far as I can tell, interest is growing. I hear people, I want to fly out of Long Beach. So what's happening at the airport nowadays? Well,
a few things are happening. One is we've just announced that we're doing more slots, and so we're actually adding some flight capacity to Long Beach. Long Beach actually has a really great noise ordinance that protects a lot of the neighborhoods around the city, but because the planes are now actually less noisy, we're able to add more flights. And so Southwest was likely to come here to Long Beach Airport. JetBlue will probably expand some of their flight service. Delta, who's already at the airport, will also expand, and so you're seeing some of that interest. There's also a discussion right now in Long Beach about whether or not to make the airport an international facility. That's something the council will have to decide at some point in the future, but there's a study going on right now.
All right. Well, another thing too, when I think about Long Beach, I think about the major role Long Beach plays in the region with goods movement and goods coming into the port. So what's happening at the Port of Long Beach you can tell us about? Yeah,
well, the Port of Long Beach is one of the big economic engines of the city. And in fact, 1 out of every 8 jobs is actually tied right back into the port, which is really great. When you think about the port and you think about goods movement, you think about trade and transportation, you think about the capital infusion, we're talking about a lot of money at the Port of Long Beach. In fact, we have the largest capital program of any port anywhere in the U.S. It's the 2nd largest in the country when it comes to container movement. We're building the world's first, first world's zero emissions terminal actually at the port. Where trucks are cleaner, cargo's moving faster, we're increasing capacity. We had a record year last year, and so the port is a huge part of our economy. It's going very well, provides a lot of jobs, and we hope it grows in a way that's green and supports the community.
Well, great. My wife went to Cal State Long Beach for her master's degree, so I have to ask you how things are going at the university there.
They're going great. I taught there. I went as an undergrad there. I taught there for a while. Cal State Long Beach is actually doing very well. It is actually the most applied to Cal State in the entire system of all 23 schools.
Is that right?
And it's actually the 5th most applied to university in the nation, believe it or not. The first being UCLA, actually, but Cal State Long Beach is the 5th. They received 92,000 applications in this last fall for the incoming freshmen and transfers. So there's a huge demand. It's certainly one of the most popular of the public schools in the country, and we love seeing all the students come in and out. They're great for the economy. We like them to stay here, buy a home here, raise their family here, and we're really proud of the university. It's doing very, very well.
Wonderful. Now, the issue of homelessness, and specifically veterans who are homeless, I know the city's been working on that. What can you tell us about that issue?
Well, homelessness is a big issue in every big, urban city, and even some smaller cities. In Long Beach, we're trying to take an approach, first of all, to recognize that it's a challenge, and one of the key things is to build housing, especially for veterans that are homeless. And in Long Beach, we've recognized that a large portion of our population are veterans. These served us in Vietnam or in the Gulf War, in Iraq, Afghanistan. So we've tried to find them appropriate housing and build new housing. Long Beach is one of the few cities that are actually meeting this national initiative of eliminating veteran homelessness. We've actually built enough housing for all the veteran homeless individuals that are in our streets. We're getting them into housing. Now, we still have a lot of folks that are homeless that are not veterans, which we're working on, but the veteran homeless population is getting served in a very, very special way. We're very, very proud of that effort. But we also know that there's still another issue. We still probably have coming in and out, transient population of hundreds and hundreds of folks that are homeless that need supportive housing, a lot of them with mental health challenges.
All right. Well, congratulations on that effort. You know, a lot of cities, I imagine, probably during the Great Recession, probably fell behind on their budget, maybe burned through their reserves. So I was curious to ask you about the sources of revenue the city of Long Beach has. I imagine most cities probably have a hotel tax, a transient occupancy tax, which is probably great for the residents because they're not the ones paying it. It's the only people visiting. I assume Long Beach has a transient occupancy tax?
Yeah, we have a TOT tax. We have all sorts, obviously, if you look at taxes in Long Beach, we're actually about in the median. If you compare parcel taxes or TOT taxes, you look at sales tax, and even if you look at, for example, like utility users tax. If you look at all those, we're about in the middle. As an example, in LA, the utility users tax is 10%, in Long Beach it's 5%. We are looking right now at possibly increasing on a temporary basis our sales tax, which we wouldn't decide, the voters would decide. So if the voters choose to vote that in, that would be something we would do to help fund more police and firefighters, as well as fix our roads and our streets. We have a huge infrastructure need. As you know, in this business and in the home business and in the real estate business, you got to make sure that that streets are in good shape, that infrastructure is in place, storm drain technology is being invested in, and that we're investing to make sure that people's property is protected, but most importantly, to make sure that the streets that line our neighborhoods are in good shape. And so if voters choose to pass this temporary sales tax increase, it would actually increase 1 cent for 6 years, down to ½ a cent for 4, and they would end in year 10. And the council wouldn't be able to extend it. Only the voters would be able to do that. So we're looking at that right now. That's going to move forward for the June election, and voters will have a say in that.
It would be on the ballot for the voters to vote on in June, June. So real soon then.
Yeah, real soon, a few months from now. Yep.
Okay, so we'll have to stay tuned on that one. How about housing? Obviously, we're the Realtor Association. We want to ask about housing, and what kind of housing development do we see and potential in Long Beach?
I'm really big on developing housing. I have a plan, and I've announced it in downtown Long Beach alone. We want to add 4,000 units just over the course of this next decade, just in downtown. We also have some plans for housing in other parts of the city, but the rest of the city is quite dense, and so it's difficult to add a lot of housing in other parts of the city. There'll be a couple developments, but most of the focus is going to be in downtown. A lot of units with a lot of interest. We want to build the city up, add more residents, add disposable income. I mean, property tax, as you know, is always great for the city, but we want to grow housing as much as possible and keep the market strong. We're doing very well. People are coming in. Household income is up in the city of Long Beach. As you know, property values have bounced back as well, and so we feel the city's in a very strong position to have a strong, even stronger housing population here in the city.
Now, in the old days, cities would have redevelopment agencies. They would have the opportunity to kind of incentivize more housing and have to set aside 20% of the agency's revenue towards housing. Are there, now that redevelopment agencies have been abolished by the state, are there incentives out there for housing developers in Long Beach to get the ball rolling? I
mean, there are some. I mean, I think I vociferously oppose the elimination of redevelopment. I think a lot of city folks did. It was a horrible mistake, I think, that was made. I think the governor and the legislature at the time really hurt cities. We're bouncing back now, but it was really damaging, I think, to the economy. So we do have some, but we don't have the same program we used to have. We used to have great set-asides and great opportunity to invest in housing. We just can't do it as much as we used to, but the city still offers some incentives. And I actually think that by also fixing up the infrastructure, we're trying to partner with larger developers and smaller developers and building good product on the ground.
Great. Well, is there any message you would like to send out to the realtors who are doing business in town?
Just that I always tell realtors when I meet them that they're our top ambassadors. Our realtors are our ambassadors for our city. They're selling Long Beach. They're inviting people in our neighborhoods, and we just want to thank them for all their work.
Well, great. Mayor Robert Garcia, best wishes to you and the city of Long Beach going forward. Once again, I'm Tim Shaw, the Government Affairs Director here at the Pacific West Association of Realtors, and we will see you next time.